Hey guys, E10 Sun here from Sunbros, and today I'm really excited to bring you guys another piece of the beginner's guide to Strike of Kings, or as it's now known, Arena of Valor. Today we're going to be discussing the next set of items that we're going to be breaking down, and we've already done the attack damage items. Today we're going to be doing the magic damage items, and we're going to start at the bottom at Staff of Newell, and we're just going to go over each magic damage item and kind of do a little quick breakdown on it. So Staff of Newell, 180 ability power, 10% cooldown speed, and the 45% magic pierce passive, which is very useful against tanks and anyone who is stacking magic resistance or magic defense. Next we got Virtue's Necklace, 140 ability power, 20% cooldown reduction, 300 max mana, 30 mana for 5 seconds, and a great passive, Soaring Spear, restores 20% mana after earning a kill or an assist. That is, Virtue's Necklace is one of my favorite first item on mages because of the phenomenal mana regen that it gives. You get 20% cooldown reduction, which is really good on almost all magic dealers, magic damage dealers, and then 140 ability power is nothing to laugh at. So between the mana regeneration that you need desperately early game, the ability power, and of course the 20% cooldown reduction, Virtue's Necklace is definitely one of my favorite first item. There's one other first item that has kind of a contention for first item or best first item. We'll go over that in a second. Next we have Tome of the Reaper, 240 ability power, 500 max HP, and the passive Soul Prison on dealing damage reduces target's HP regeneration by 50% for 1.5 seconds. If this is triggered by normal attacks, the duration is extended to 3 seconds. So this is awesome because if we're facing another team who's got a lot of lifesteal, or who potentially has Pura or one of the main healers in the game, this item is going to be that item. It's going to be anti-healing, whether it's from lifesteal or healing. So make sure you guys pick this up if you're facing ever against a Pura or an enemy team who has a crazy amount of lifesteal. Alright, going back to the top of the right side, we got Boomstick, 240 ability power, and the unique passive Explosion. Ability hits trigger a small area explosion that deals 50 damage plus 50% of your ability power as magic damage. There's a 5-second cooldown. It's a pretty good item. 240 ability power is pretty good. The passive is great. It's good, not great. Proccing every 5 seconds doesn't really help that much, and it does like an extra 800 damage every 5 seconds. So it's not like awful, but definitely better items out there. Next we got Hecate's Diadem, which is your basic item that's in every game. 200 ability power plus 35%, so it's one of the later items you're going to want to get. It does increase all the ability power you have from all your items by 35%, and it does give magic pierce plus 75. So it actually does give you some nice magic pierce. Next is the other item that you would consider building first on mages, and this is another item that I do build first a lot, so I kind of wrestle between Orb of the Magi and the Virtue's Necklace. This one also gives 140 ability power, gives 10% cooldown reduction, but the passive is what makes it great. Gains 12 ability power and 80 HP every 30 seconds, and it stacks up to 10 times. So it's going to take 5 minutes to fully stack, and then you're going to be getting 120 ability power and 800 HP when it's fully built out. And then there's another passive from the Ashes. When the hero gains a level, 20% of HP and mana are restored over 3 seconds. So two good, unique passives, but really this one ends up at 260 ability power, 800 health, 10% cooldown reduction, and the other passive. It's a pretty legit item. That's a really good starting item also because it takes 5 minutes to fully build out. Sometimes what I do is I build Virtue's Bracelet, which is the first piece in the full Virtue's Necklace that has mana regeneration, ability power, cooldown. So that's kind of a nice in-between. And then I build Orb of the Magi first, and then I build Virtue's Necklace second. That's kind of what I do if I need mana badly, but I still want to get Orb of the Magi finished first for the 5-minute build up. Next, we've got Rhea's Blessing at 140 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, and then a really great passive, Life Shield gains a shield that absorbs 450 plus the hero's level times 50. So if you're at level 10, it's going to be a 950 shield, and then it's going to be plus 40% ability power. So at level 10, you got about 800 ability power. Now, not that much, probably like 700, 600 ability power. So you get 40% of that. You're looking at, you know, a good 350, 400. So you're looking at level 10, about nice 1300 damage shield, which is pretty legit. Adds a lot of tankiness, and you get that when your HP falls below 40%. The shield lasts 4 seconds and has a 75-second cooldown. The other phenomenal passive that you get on Rift Blessing is the 25% magic life steal. Now, keep in mind on who you're building that with, because it is great on some heroes and awful on others. Ignis, who I have selected here, it actually is really not good on, because the lifesteal doesn't work on the ultimate when it does true damage. It only works on magic damage. So if you do get the true damage to proc on the ult, you don't get any lifesteal. So it can be a bit of a problem. So make sure you guys are testing that out before you really go into it for that reason. Next, we're going to go into Zweihander, which has 180 ability power, 400 max mana, 8% movement speed, and the Rapid Blade passive, normal attacks hits, increase attack speed by 50% for 4 seconds. So that's a 10-second internal cooldown. The next passive is the Light. Normal attacks gain additional magic damage equal to 20% of the hero's ability power. So if you're building a really heavy ability power build, and you know, when you're fully built with Zweihander, the extra damage is going to be roughly, you know, 300. 300 to 350 on the damage. They're not bad. Every basic attack doing an extra 300 350 damage is pretty legit. Now there's certain heroes that this works better on, and it can be combined with a different item that we'll talk about later. Next, we got Frosty's Revenge, which is a pretty popular item. And this is going to be 140 ability power, 220 magic defense, and 7% movement speed. And then the passive is Chill. Abilities that deal damage will also reduce enemy movement speed by 25% for 2 seconds. So it adds a slow to every ability you do. But the real thing about this guy is 220 magic damage. It's going to give you some tankiness. It's going to give you some survivability. And it's also one of those item split things. If you want the slow, that's one thing. If you want the tankiness, it's another thing. So keep in mind with that one. Next, we're going with another tanky item in Barrett's Agony. 140 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction, 270 armor, and the unique passive Torture deals magic damage equal to 4% of the target's current HP, not max HP, current HP, up to 80 against monsters, and it has a 1.2 internal cooldown. So if you're spamming abilities in a relatively quick fashion, but not too quick, you actually can proc that over and over again and be dealing insane damage. The burn is actually pretty nasty. But as you can see, this is another item with tanky stats. So if you actually 270 armor from Barrett's Agony, you get 220 magic defense from Frosty Revenge, you can actually get a pretty decent off-tank build with the mage. But then we're going down to the next item, Apocalypse. Apocalypse has 200 ability power, 10% cooldown speed, and then the passive elemental power. After using an ability, the next normal attack deals additional magic damage equal to 30% of attack damage plus 80% of ability power. That has a 2-second cooldown. So I fiddle with Apocalypse a little bit. That's the one I was talking about that you'd want to combine with Zweihander, because it does the extra damage on basic attacks, and this also does extra damage on normal attacks. So on a full build with Apocalypse and Zweihander, I was, after casting an ability every 2 seconds, my auto attack was hitting for an extra 320 from the Zweihander and an extra like 1,000 from, or 1,200 from Apocalypse. So pretty crazy actually. I was hitting almost 2,000 damage basic attacks every now and then from these both procking. Pretty great on some heroes, not so great on others, but it's an interesting possibility to build on, so it's really cool. Next we're going with Soul Ring Aura. 140 ability power, 1,050 max HP, and the passive protection, which reduces magic defense of enemies within 800 units by 75 plus hero level times 5. So you get to level 10, that's going to be doing 125 reduction of magic defense, which is a pretty good amount actually. This is a very situational item to me, but not bad. And again, if you want to build off tank, you got more, more tankiness here with 1050 max HP. Last, but certainly not least, on the magic section here, we have Holy of Holies, which is your big boy 400 ability power. If you guys remember, the highest one we have besides that is 260, and that's the fully built out Orb of the Magi. So 400 ability power is big boy amounts, plus you get maximum HP by 1400. So it gives you tankiness. That overall is probably one of the best items in the game for mages, and it is expensive. It is very pricey. It's literally like 800 gold more than the next most expensive item. So it's pretty pricey, but should be one of your final 2 items. Very, very much worth it. Then lastly, we have, of course, the element or enchanted kicks, which give 40 ability power, and then 10% magic pierce. That is going to be your magic damage boots. And your jungling item is going to be Loki's Curse, which gives 120 ability power, 25 mana over 5 seconds, if you're choosing to jungle as a mage. And the passive curse power, after using an ability, the next normal attack deals additional magic damage equal to 35% attack damage and 45% ability power. So if you combine Loki's Curse with the 2 other items that we were talking about, Zweihander and Apocalypse, your basic attacks are going to do some nasty damage. That's a really interesting idea for Raz or a hero of that nature. And then the last thing here, obviously 30% more XP and damage to monsters, but Seek and Destroy gains 8 ability power for every monster killed, stacks up to 15 times. So that's going to give you an extra 120 on the ability power after you get those stacks maxed out, for a total of 240 on Loki's Curse. So that, guys, is a delicious wrap up of the magic damage or ability power items in this game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what your guys' favorite ability damage or magic damage items are. We'll talk about it in the comment section below. If you guys did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Share the videos in the channel with your friends, please. You guys do so much to help me grow as a channel. I really appreciate that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And as always, until next time.